Sometimes life feels like it's happening on repeat, the same routines, the same thoughts, the same restless drift between yesterday and tomorrow. The body moves through the day, but the mind wanders elsewhere, caught in a loop of memories, worries, and endless noise. It's as if we're present in form, yet absent in spirit. But there is another way, a way to awaken, to breathe life back into each moment, to live with clarity and calm no matter what unfolds around us. This isn't a fleeting idea or modern fad. It's a timeless path that has guided humanity for more than 2,500 years. Today, we'll explore the Buddha's profound teachings on mindfulness and uncover how this ancient practice can bring depth, peace, and purpose to the rhythm of our everyday lives. So what exactly is mindfulness? In the original Pali language, the word is sati. It means awareness, attention, and remembering. But it's a special kind of awareness. It's paying attention, on purpose in the present moment without judgment. Let's break that down. On purpose means it's an intentional act. You choose to be aware. In the present moment means you're not lost in thoughts about yesterday's argument or tomorrow's to-do list. You're right here, right now. And without judgment is the real game changer. It means observing your thoughts, feelings and sensations as they are, without labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. You just notice. The Buddha taught that our suffering often comes from a mind that's constantly wandering, getting caught up in cravings or aversions. We either want things to be different than they are, or we're afraid of losing what we have. Mindfulness is the antidote. It's the practice of returning again and again to the present. It's a training for your mind, just like going to the gym is training for your body. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great, but I don't have time to sit on a cushion and meditate for hours every day. And that's the beauty of it. The Buddha didn't just teach mindfulness for formal meditation. He taught us to bring it into every aspect of our lives. He called this the 4 foundations of mindfulness. These are 4 areas where we can practice being present: our body, our feelings, our mind, and the nature of reality itself. Let's start with the first foundation, mindfulness of the body. This is the most accessible entry point for most of us because our bodies are always in the present moment. You can start right now. Feel the chair supporting you. Notice the sensation of your feet on the floor. Feel the air moving in and out of your nostrils. One of the most classic practices is mindfulness of breathing. Your breath is your anchor to the now. Whenever your mind wanders, you gently guide it back to the simple, physical sensation of your breath. But it goes beyond that. The Buddha encouraged being mindful while walking, standing, sitting, and lying down. Think about your morning routine. When you brush your teeth, are you actually feeling the bristles on your gums, tasting the minty paste? Or are you already planning your first meeting of the day? Try it tomorrow, just brush your teeth. When you take a shower, feel the warm water on your skin. Smell the soap. Hear the sound of the water. Turn these mundane activities into moments of peaceful presence. This is mindfulness in action. Even eating can become a profound practice. We often eat while scrolling on our phones or watching TV, barely tasting our food. Try eating one meal this week with total mindfulness. Turn off all distractions. Look at your food. Notice the colors, the shapes, the textures. Smell it. Take a bite and chew slowly. Really taste it. Really. You'll be amazed at how much richer the experience becomes. You're not just fueling your body, you're nourishing your soul. Next, we have the second foundation, mindfulness of feelings. This one can be a bit trickier. Our feelings, joy, sadness, anger, fear, can be overwhelming. Our usual tendency is to either cling to the pleasant ones or push away the unpleasant ones. Mindfulness invites a different approach. It asks us to simply notice the feeling as it arises, acknowledge it without judgment. Say to yourself, there is sadness, or here is a feeling of joy. You don't need to analyze it or justify it. Just observe it. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it a tightness in your chest? A warmth in your belly? By observing it with a kind and curious attention, you create space around the feeling. You realize that you are not your anger. You are the one who is aware of the anger. The feeling is like a cloud passing through the vast sky of your awareness. It comes, it stays for a while, and then it goes. This practice can dramatically reduce the power that difficult emotions have over you. The third foundation is mindfulness of the mind, or mindfulness of thoughts. Our minds are like thought-generating machines. They're constantly chattering away. The Buddha called this monkey mind, swinging from one thought branch to another without rest. The goal of mindfulness isn't to stop thinking. That's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with your thoughts. Instead of getting swept away by every thought, you learn to watch them come and go. Imagine you're sitting on the bank of a river. Your thoughts are like leaves floating by on the current. You just watch them. You don't jump into the river to grab them. You don't try to stop them. You just observe. Ah, a planning thought. Ah, a worry. Ah, a memory. You see them for what they are, just mental events, not absolute truths. This simple shift in perspective is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the tyranny of your own mind. Finally, we have the fourth foundation, mindfulness of dhammas, which can be translated as the nature of things or the contents of the mind. This is a deeper level of practice, where we observe how all things, including ourselves, are interconnected and constantly changing. We notice how clinging to things that are impermanent leads to dissatisfaction. We begin to understand universal truths not as intellectual concepts, but through our own direct experience. This leads to profound wisdom and a deep sense of peace. So how do we start bringing all of this into our busy lives? The key is to start small and be kind to yourself. Don't try to be mindful all day, every day from the get-go. You'll just get frustrated. Instead, pick 1 or 2 simple practices. Maybe it's practicing mindful breathing for 5 minutes every morning, or choosing to drink your morning coffee or tea with full attention, without your phone. You could try a mindfulness bell. Set a random alarm on your phone for a few times a day. When it goes off, just stop whatever you're doing. Take 3 deep, conscious breaths. Notice your surroundings. Notice how you're feeling. And then continue with your day. These little moments of pausing and checking in can completely change the quality of your day. They are small anchors of sanity in a sea of busyness. Remember, mindfulness is not about achieving some perfect state of blissful calm. It's about being with life as it is. There will be moments of peace and moments of turmoil. There will be days when your mind is calm and days when it feels like a raging storm. The practice is to meet it all with the same gentle, non-judgmental awareness. It's about showing up for your own life, moment by precious moment. The Buddha's teachings on mindfulness offer us a timeless path to freedom. Not freedom from life's challenges, but freedom within them. It's the freedom that comes from knowing your own mind, from living with presence, and from meeting every experience with wisdom and compassion. It's a journey back home to yourself, to the peace and clarity that are already within you, just waiting to be uncovered. So, I invite you to try it. Pick one small way to practice mindfulness today. Maybe it's while you're washing the dishes, walking to your car, or listening to a friend. Just for a few moments, bring your full attention to what's happening right here, right now. Discover for yourself the profound difference it can make. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of mindfulness. I hope it has offered you some valuable insights. If you found this helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content on living a more conscious and fulfilling life. What mindful practice will you try first? Let me know in the comments below. Take care and be present.